estimates that about half to two-thirds of Kendall Hunter's yardage the other day was after the point where he made a guy miss. We had a clean shot.
Safety.
So, considering the opposition and his 200 yards, is that as good a game as he's ever?
I thought he played as good a game as he played when we played about 4 or 5 of them back here at home. One game he played here against somebody that he was very impressive. And the other night he got tough yards. He ran up in there, and we blocked pretty well. But they had a safety down, or they had a backer that was fitting in, outside backer, nickelback, whatever you want to call him. And he either made him miss or ran through him. And so our evaluation on Sunday was that he had gotten as many tough yards and was as successful in this game as probably he had been in a long time, based on the guys that were attempting to tackle him.
So how proud are you? I mean, ultimately you're not proud of the outcome here. But
Mm-hmm.
in the last 2 times you faced Nebraska, you get a 200-yard rusher. I mean, nobody else does.
Yeah, and you know, those are like moral victories, and it doesn't do a lot for you, but you don't want to come out of a game when you play a team that has as much capability as they do. And I use this term, and you guys have been around here covering me for a long time. You'll never hear me make an excuse. But they haven't given up football in Lincoln now, okay? And so they still have players that can make plays, and they're coaching them, and they're getting guys to play hard. And so nobody wanted to win that game more, and our plan on offense, defense, and special teams was to win that football game. We didn't get it done. But when you play a team that some people would consider let's just throw out a top 15 team, I don't know. I mean, across the country, if somebody says put it down a top 15, they would probably be in there. And we had a chance to win the game. We gave up too many big plays. We missed too many tackles. We didn't convert field goals into touchdowns, and we gave up KOR.
So considering that the next time you give up a kickoff return, it could cost you the Big 12 South, is there a level of desperation maybe now in addressing it that wasn't there before?
Yeah, desperation is not an option, because there is no plan B in college football. College football is based on taking the guys that we have that are healthy, that we can get them in a position to have success in all 3 phases of what we do. And that's our job as a coaching staff. Now, not being sarcastic, but I don't plan on giving up another one. But we definitely have to get better in that area, and the one way to do it is a lot more time and coach it and teach it and get those guys to play hard, and show them the mistakes. Show them where they made mistakes. That's already been done. Show them where they were in position, they were out of control. Their head needs to be in the right location and not on a swivel looking for the wrong guy to hit them. There's certain things that contributed to that we were able to correct. Now it's our responsibility as coaches to make sure that we can coach it this week and make them better. Are we going to become the best kick cover team in 1 week? No, that's not going to happen. But we certainly want to be better than we were this week.
Mike, you've shown a preference throughout the season, really throughout your career. You like that first possession of the third quarter, if you can, to defer, get that. You're going into one of the 2 stadiums in this league that I've ever seen dictate the outcome of a football game.
Yeah, with wind.
Do you think does your mind change a little bit because the wind can be such a factor?
Well, obviously depends on what happens that day. 5 days before we played Nebraska, they were talking about very muggy and 86 degrees and what I would call a September day. It ended up being windy and overcast and a little cooler. So it's hard for me to say right now, but those are things you have to take into consideration when you play it in Manhattan. The wind is a factor. It always has been in the kicking game up there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, and it's part of what we do, decisions we make on game day.
But if it's that strong, that would change maybe your mindset about deferring.
I don't know. I don't know that I'd show my cards right now, or it may not matter, but it'd be just hard for me to say.
Mike, Josh Cooper had one of his best games of his Cowboy career on Saturday. How far has he come from where he showed up 3 years ago on campus to kind of the player he's starting to come down?
Yeah, he's a good example of what we're talking about with these freshmen. We got a little bit out of Josh early in his career, but he didn't understand the toughness of playing at this level, and every time he got hit and got dinged up, it was hard for him to come back and practice, and just the mental toughness that it takes to perform at this level. And he now has gotten there. He's been hit a lot. Of course, he took a big hit in Louisiana and came back and played the next week and gave us something at Tech. He takes a few hits out here, but he's become a reliable receiver for us. He dropped a big one out here on 3rd and 4 or 5, but we came back to him on 4th down. He made the play with a guy hanging on his back. So he's a great example of a guy that's in the program, and he understands. He's mentally tough. He's helping us on special teams. He's become a good returner for us. And you can win a lot of football games with Josh Cooper. Win a lot of football games with a guy like him that's developed toughness and buys into the program. He's yes sir, no sir, and he loves Oklahoma State. It's kind of what he means here. He's that kind of a player for us.
Were you surprised that Bill Snyder came back to coach at K-State?
I think Coach Snyder's 74, right?
Early 70s.
I think he had a birthday on TV. 71. I apologize for that. Let's just say that I doubt when I'm 71 that I doubt that I'm 71 that my energy level will be as high as his. But I got all the respect in the world for him, for what he's been able to accomplish. I honestly have to agree with one of the few times in my life I've agreed with Coach Switzer at OU. Is he said he was the coach of the century, and I firmly believe that. For what he was able to do for that program, I don't think anybody would question that. I was thinking, I was in bed last night. In 1989, I think was his first year, and I was a quarterback out here, and we played. And I had a knee injury and didn't play in the first half. And I played in the second half. We ended up winning. And I got a handwritten letter from him the next week, like on Wednesday, saying, congratulations and great accomplishment of what you did. And I always remembered that. Then I was laying in bed and I thought, now I'm having an opportunity to go against him as a head coach. So I think he is a class act for college football, and he's a very good football coach. And it's pretty amazing that a guy at that age is still willing to pay the price and do what it takes to have success.
Do you get excited sometimes when you face other coaches for that opening handshake? Like when you go out and shake Coach's hand on Saturday, is it something you really
there's no question that I look forward to the competition, the challenge, and I have a lot of respect for guys that I've had an opportunity to coach against, and at times I think of that. I think, what am I doing out here? We've got Coach Sherman at A&M was the coach of the Packers, right? Coach Callahan was a Super Bowl coach, right? Coach Schnellenberger, and I mean, you just go on down the list, and guys that had an opportunity to go against and compete against, and that's the fun part of it. To have an opportunity to go head-to-head, X's and O's wise, and try to get your team ready to play the game.
How do you get your seniors and starters and stuff to help the younger kids get over this hangover?
They've done a good job. The reason that we've had the success that we've had up to this point is because you go Chinasa and Ori Lemon and Kendall Hunter and Andrew McGee, and there's other guys, have done a good job of talking to our younger players and coaching them and bringing them along. And I've always felt like the sign of a successful football team is when your veteran players coach your younger players in practice and in the locker room. And we're getting a lot of that from those guys. They've done a good job.
Coach, you talked a lot about defending the kickoff and the punt. Make a few comments about the success that Quinn Sharp and Dan Bailey have had.
Well, they've been really good. Quinn was excellent Saturday. When we couldn't manufacture much on offense, he was able to boom some punts for us and change field position. And he's been really good, and he's been good on kickoffs. The one they brought back the other day, the guy was 3 deep in the end zone. We had good hang time. Our coverage unit was almost to the 30-yard line in coverage. So he's been excellent. And then Dan, I mean, what can you say? Dan's been good. He's been solid, and he's come in here, worked hard, paid his way to school. We put him on scholarship. He's earned it, and guys work year round. Those guys work year round, and nobody ever talks about them until they come out to kick a field goal to win it or punt a ball at a crucial time. So, good guys. Good? All right.